Good evening. 7 o'clock. It's time to start our meeting. Let's see, everyone is in attendance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have the minutes before you of our last meeting. Have a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Stewart, would you like to call the first case of the evening, sir?
Yes, sir. We have requests from Mr. Juan Delgado, who owns the business at 599 Donaldson Road. He owns the Amigos Restaurant, and he's appealing the zoning administrator's decision / interpretation on the operation of the business at the reference location as a tavern and dance club. The site is located at Donaldson Road at the intersection of Donaldson Road and Holly Lane, and currently has a restaurant and hotel. The adjoining properties to the west have a convenience store with fuel pumps and a hotel. The adjoining property to the south has a self-storage facility, and to the east is the I-71, I-75 right-of-way. The subject property and adjoining properties to the west are within the highway commercial zone. The adjoining property to the south is within the industrial park 2 zone, and the I-71, 75 right-of-way is within the industrial park 3 zone. The highway commercial zone allows a variety of uses, including hotels and motels and ED establishments, including drive-ins. The only entertainment uses listed as being permitted are bowling alleys and theaters. Taverns are conditionally permitted in the zone, provided they are a minimum of 1,000 feet from another tavern, a structure used for a public or parochial school or a church, and complies with all of their federal, state, and local laws. Section 7.0 of the zoning ordinance defines tavern as any establishment selling alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages by the drink for consumption on the premises. Per Direction 2030, which is the area-wide comprehensive plan update, which was adopted by the Kenton County Planning Commission in September 2014, the recommended land use plan identifies the reference site as well as the adjoining properties to the west for commercial uses. The adjoining property to the south is identified for industrial use. On July 30th, 2021, City Administrator Matthew Kramer visited the reference location and met with Amigos business partner Alberto Delgado. Mr. Kramer requested and was granted a tour of the building and discovered a dance club on the floor below the restaurant. Mr. Delgado confirmed that they operated a dance club on Saturday nights. Mr. Kramer also observed that there is a bar within the dance club. Mr. Kramer reported to me his observations of the dance club and bar, and I issued a violation letter addressed to the property owner stating that the dance club was not a permitted use in the zone and that a tavern would not be permitted because the location is approximately 260 feet from another tavern. A copy of the violation letter was given to Mr. Delgado. And then we have a video for you guys to view on the big screen. What? Need a video, Matt.
Matt, I'd just like to lay a little foundation. If you could just, before you put this video up, kind of tell us what it is and how you obtained it. Can you hear me, Matt?
Yeah. No. Oops. I'll get it. Go ahead. Okay, you can go ahead, Jack. It's gonna have to warm up now. You want to talk before?
I'm sorry?
You said you wanted to talk before.
No, I asked you a question.
What was the question?
How did you obtain this video? And if you could just lay some foundation as to the date and how it was obtained.
Okay, yeah, I had requested that the police department monitor that establishment on Saturday nights, because that is when they were having the dance club. They agreed the day that I told them you know, they were in violation of a zoning order, that they wouldn't operate it. I was hearing the next day that it was available, that it was active. So I asked the police department to go check it out. They subsequently saw it was open, so they just did a walkthrough to ensure that that's the business that was going on there.
All right, and what's the date of the video? You can pop it up.
It's August 7th.
All right, thanks.
So what we have this evening, we're deciding on your interpretation. We're deciding upon your interpretation as to whether this is actually a tavern, a dance club, or supplemental bar. Is that? Very good. Okay. All right. So anyone who wishes to speak for or against this evening, please stand up and raise your right hand. Okay. You solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, thank you. Okay, the first person to speak for this or present your case, counsel?
Okay.
Mr. Bowman, you are an attorney in the state?
Donald Bowman, an attorney at law, and I represent Amigos Mexican Restaurant.
You're an attorney in the state of Kentucky, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
About the video was taken 7 days after notice was given, and they gave 30 days to comply. I don't really think it's relevant because they were given 30 days to comply, and we had already appealed the decision by the zoning officer. But, I mean, we can watch it either way. I just think that since you're given 30 days to comply, then you're given 30 days to comply. He's coming in 7 days later and saying you're not in compliance when we're already trying to schedule a hearing to decide whether or not the issue is relevant or settled. Is somewhat odd. But I have some exhibits here. If I may deliver them to the members of the committee. I would like to call Juan Delgado. Juan, are you one of the owners of Amigos Mexican Restaurant?
Yes, I am.
When you first opened the restaurant in late 2018, did you apply for a supplemental bar license?
Yes, I did.
Did representatives of Erlanger come in and approve the supplemental bar
Yes, I
license?
did.
I'd like to direct you to Exhibit D, the approval by the Matthew Kramer for the supplemental bar. It was filed with the ABC back in 2018. How often do you operate the supplemental bar?
Only on Saturdays
On
for
Sat-
4 hours,
Like from when to when?
from 10 o'clock to 2 in the morning. We stop serving liquor at 1:30, and then we give to the people half hour to go out. We didn't start this to be a dance club. It was just karaoke nights, which everybody does it on the bars. But the people start dancing, so we know they're your customers. We could not told them, hey, don't dance, because we didn't even know. I didn't even know that it was going to be a problem. If I wouldn't know it was going to be a problem, I wouldn't done this. Okay, because I've been doing this since I got the license, and we fixed the place because it was teared down. So, and then now that I wasn't here when all this going on. I was in Mexico and I couldn't come because of COVID and all this. But when I got here, like I told my brother, he's the one who's there, he's the manager, and I told him, if we wouldn't have so many problems because we do this, I mean, we're more there, to cooperate with you guys, but whatever you guys decide to do. But I just feel really bad if they close my restaurant, because we operate more of my restaurant than the bar. It's only 4 hours where we operate the bar. And the COVID time, we were closed, the bar. It's a family restaurant, my sister, my brother. That's why we live from there, pretty much.
Can I direct the committee's attention to Exhibit C, which also has a definition of supplemental bar license and a copy of the supplemental bar license that they hold to this day, which doesn't expire until November of this year, late November. Now, the downstairs, is that only accessible from outside?
No, even from inside. Both sides.
How many stairways down into
Two.
there are two?
It's two from the restaurant going down, both of them,
So you only use the outside entrance for convenience?
just for convenience, yes.
Just
But
to
when
shut
we
off the
operate, we open
restaurant
all
for
doors,
4
so-
hours?
Yeah,
Does it get pretty hot up there in the restaurant?
it does, because the air conditioning is not working, so
Is it cooler downstairs?
no, it's not.
Oh, not much?
Not
Okay.
much.
Um, How much would you say how much would you say you make from alcohol versus food?
How much alcohol versus food? We're pretty much, I would say 75 food and then the 25 alcohol, because pretty much on Saturdays, people, to be honest, people start getting there around 11, 12 o'clock, so they only drink for 2-3 hours. Myself at night, probably I would say $800, $1,000. That's what I saw. We reported on the restaurant,
And I would direct the
But they
committee,
will help me a lot to pay my rent, honestly, right now.
I would direct the committee to Exhibit E, showing a profit loss where routinely, for the past 2 months, July and June, they've made almost 80%, approximately 80% of their income has come from food. They're primarily a restaurant. The largest part of our argument, I think, is the definition of what a tavern is. It seems very broad, and we can reread it into the record. Any establishment selling alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages by the drink for consumption on the premises. I would suggest that their business would have been a tavern either way. They were already selling beer. They have a bar upstairs. They're selling beer and margaritas, and it's just so overbroad. We would ask the committee to consider the ABC's interpretation that a restaurant can shut down for a little while. And that's in Exhibit F, and under the frequently asked questions from the Kentucky Alcohol Beverage Control, where they say that there is no ruling that they have to constantly serve food while their bar is open. And we consider it mostly a restaurant, predominantly, since 80% of the revenues are from food, with a supplemental bar that they like to operate for 4 or 5 hours on the weekend. They sought approval. They've had the supplemental bar license since they got their first license in 2018. It was approved by Erlanger representatives, and they're willing to, I know the entertainment factor seems to be somewhat big. I don't know how much entertainment you're allowed, but I'm sure they would be willing to curb the entertainment if the board should so request.
If you're done, I just have a few questions for your client, but I don't want to interrupt you.
I'm done.
Okay. What was your last name, sir? I'm sorry.
Delgado.
Delgado. My name's Jack Gallen. I'm city attorney here in Erlanger. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Just a couple questions. You admit you're operating a bar in the basement of that location?
Yes.
All right. And when does the food service stop in the restaurant upstairs?
It doesn't stop on the night. If somebody requests, we always can approve, but it said to stop like cut wings, burrito, tacos, stop, not like a whole open kitchen.
Okay. So your testimony is that,
So, but like a lot of people stop ordering around 12 or whatever, so we start serving the food.
okay. So from 12 to 2,
So let's say to 10:30, we stop serving food
all right.
downstairs.
So from 10:30 to 2, it's bar only?
Mhm.
All right. So again, just so we're all clear, we're not going after your restaurant on the first floor. You understand that, right? Our issue is with the dance club bar on the second floor, or in the basement. All right. If we could actually show the video, because I want to ask him some questions as we go through the video. And the purpose of the video is not to show that he's not complying. We understand he has his appellate right. It's just to show what's going on there, frankly, that it is a dance club bar, and I just had a few questions. So as we begin the video, this is the secondary outdoor entrance, correct?
It has second, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can just go stand
don't
in the
need
doorway
volume.
and get everything on body cam.
Can we turn the volume off, please?
People came out and talk outside.
I'm sorry, can we just turn the volume off of the video? We don't need the volume. I'm sorry. So, I'm sorry, sir, what were you saying? Right there, it looks like, I mean, there's security, right? You have a
Yeah.
bouncer at the door?
He's sitting outside, yeah, because the people who comes outside to smoke, they're not allowed to go to the car or something. Someone can get a weapon or something, and he's
Okay.
out there to don't let nobody go outside to the parking lot.
Okay,
If they go to the parking lot, they have to come outside, around for the main entrance to search them again.
all right,
That's the reason why the security is over there.
all right, keep going. Thank you. So you admit from 10:30 to 2, there's no food served there?
We stopped and doing it because nobody was buying. So for me to make that extra money and pay an extra food, with this time I decided not to serve the food.
All right, I have no further questions, thank you.
May I redirect?
Sure.
If the board should find that your security is lacking, would you be willing to revise policies and hire either Erlanger,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Kentucky State Police, Boone County Sheriff, Kenton County Sheriff, any off-duty officers just to replace your current security?
If they're not happy with them, yes, of course.
That's all.
Anything else?
Just again, that I think that the definition of tavern is grossly overbroad, that I would encourage, I mean, I understand that some bars sell food and some restaurants sell alcohol, but I think the state of Kentucky's definition of restaurant, meaning greater than 50% is food as opposed to alcohol, and Exhibit E is a better definition, and that due to the overbroad definition of tavern, it's almost, you can shut down anybody because it's they were a tavern, I would say, by that definition before, even when that isn't open, they're considered a tavern because it's so overbroad. And I would ask the board to take in the totality of the circumstances, that they are 80% food, 20% alcohol, and there's only a 4.5 hour window on Saturday night that they try to have fun with it and have a bar atmosphere as opposed to just a strictly restaurant all the time.
When the board is ready, I'd like to have an opportunity to just have Mark read or rebut a couple of the things that were brought up in the exhibits, but I don't want to interfere with you all if you want to ask questions first.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I just, when you all are done, I just want to have an opportunity for Mark to address a few of these exhibits and some of the questions. Is now an okay time, or? Okay.
I couldn't catch what you're saying, so.
If you guys don't have any more questions, or if you guys are still questioning the speaker now, then that's fine, but later in the program, he wants a chance to ask some questions of me to help, to rebut some of the information that was presented.
Okay, very
But
good.
if you guys are still asking questions, or continue
Yeah, right
doing
now,
that.
we want to go ahead. Any of you gentlemen have any questions for the? Any questions or comments? No? Would you like to address the?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Mark, if you could address a couple things. One thing is the ABC licensing of a supplemental bar under KRS 243037, is that relevant to your decision?
No,
Okay. And why isn't that relevant?
I don't use that in any of my other zoning decisions for anyone else in the city. I just, what's in the book that was given to me by the city to enforce, so.
Okay, when you say the book that was given to you by the city, are you talking about the zoning code?
Yes, the Erlanger zoning ordinance.
Okay, and what's the definition of a tavern under the Erlanger zoning ordinance?
It's any establishment selling alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages by the drink for consumption on the premises.
Okay, and is it your position that this board can only consider that definition since it is the zoning code definition?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you could again just reiterate why the restaurant is not in compliance with the zoning code. I don't mean the restaurant, I mean the bar dance club is not in compliance with the zoning code.
My interpretation of the zone, the highway commercial zone, is that a dance club is, or the bar and the dance club on the lower level are not listed as permitted uses in that zone. The only thing listed that they are doing is the first floor, the top floor, which is the restaurant, eating establishments is permitted, but the use that's going on the lower level is not listed as permitted use in the zone.
Okay, so it would be your position that the restaurant certainly can continue to operate business as usual. It's the second floor dance club / tavern that is the reason you cited them with a zoning violation, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to make comment on that? Minnie?
So is your objection to the alcohol or to the dancing?
It would be both.
Then why did Erlanger grant them a supplemental bar license if they're not allowed to use their supplemental bar?
I'm not sure. I'm not involved in that part of the decision-making. That's done by the ABC administrator and his staff.
Then
I'm
why
in
don't
charge
you
of the
come in
zoning
and
ordinance.
shut them down for their regular restaurant? Not that I'm asking you to, but that's the logical conclusion if you read the definition of tavern. They're not allowed to sell alcohol because they're within 1,000 feet of another tavern. Because it says whoever sells alcohol is a tavern.
Okay, then I can issue a letter tomorrow if you wish to shut down the restaurant.
No, I mean, I'm just showing the kind of insanity of the whole situation, that they issued a supplemental bar license, they used a supplemental bar license, and now they can't use the supplemental bar license because we decided you're not primarily a restaurant in the totality of the situation, you're a tavern for 4 hours a week. I don't think that's a fair characterization of their business overall.
Is there a question there, or is that just argument? I'm fine if you want to argue that. I just wasn't sure if you were directing him to answer that question.
No, I'm not directing him to
Okay.
answer a question.
All
I'm
right.
just stating that it's bizarre that the definition is lacking, to say the least.
We do have another witness, if we could call. We'd like to call Matt Kramer. In this role, he is the ABC administrator who issued that supplemental license.
Yes, sir.
I think they need to swear you under oath, sir.
I already did with the rest of them.
Matt, you've heard this, and you were the one that issued Exhibit D, supplemental bar license. If you could explain to me how that process goes.
Yeah, so the business will apply to the state. Once the state is satisfied with all the application that's sent to the city to process and to issue the actual approval of the license.
Were you given any indication as to where that bar would be located?
Not that I recall. I think that was applied for a while ago, but no, I mean, for a supplemental bar license, it just says it's an additional location than the main bar. So typically, for other restaurants, that's just a smaller bar within the dining facility.
And when you are in your role as ABC administrator, are you involved at all in whether do you make any analysis as to whether the supplemental bar would violate any zoning codes?
No, sir.
And in the application, it doesn't say where they're going to put that supplemental bar.
Not that I'm aware of, no, sir.
So is it fair to say that the two are sort of mutually exclusive issues, whether the ABC issues it or whether the zoning code allows it?
Correct. I mean, we have contacted ABC for them to look at it also. They're just a little slower responding than the city is. But our understanding is ABC, they're applying for an ABC license, that they had the proper zoning at the time.
All right, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Mr. Kramer, so you're testifying that you issued a liquor license or signed off on a liquor license sight unseen?
Once the state issues their acceptance, we review them to ensure, what we can, but do we go into detail each one to see where they're located in it? And the answer would be no.
And as long as it's located within the premises and the leasehold, it should be okay?
Correct, yeah. For
Okay.
example, Amigos, I didn't realize that they were operating out of the basement. We would have made the assumption that they were operating out of the main floor for a supplemental license. Does that make sense?
No, not really. So you never poured it, there's steps to the basement from two different places in the building. You've never witnessed that. Within the building, there's two separate stairways to the basement.
I believe I've only know of one staircase to the basement, but I don't go into every single building all the time throughout the city.
That's all.
All right. Nothing else from anyone? We have a motion in order. Someone would like to make a motion?
Sorry, I had a question.
Okay.
In the license for supplemental bar, it does not state how long that bar remains open. It could remain open all night, or it could remain open for 4 hours. That's not stated anywhere.
This supplemental bar, if I'm not mistaken, it coincides with the restaurant, and as long as that's open, and then it's governed by the liquor laws and the city of Erlanger for closing time.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Have a motion in order?
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we deny the appeal of Mr. Delgado in relation to the decision that is made by the city administrator. the operation of the business as a tavern and a dance club was the decision of the administrator. And that looks like that was based on two city ordinances. 10.18A does not list a dance club as an establishment for that zone. And ordinance 850, 10.18C, which does not allow a tavern within 1,000 feet of any other tavern. That's the reason the question for 4 hours. You know, if you're allowed to open just for 4 hours, that doesn't take care of the 1,000 feet between taverns.
So our motion is to deny
The appeal.
the appeal on those two items. Do I have a second for the motion?
I second.
Need a vote?
Mr. McVeigh?
Aye.
Mr. Molly?
Yes to deny the appeal.
Mr. Beatis?
Aye.
Mr. Conley?
Yes. Sorry, that'll wrap up this evening's meeting. Do we have any other business?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay.
Can I ask for clarification? So they can keep their restaurant open until 2:30 on Saturday night?
That issue's not
Restaurant and
before the
bar?
board. I would ask the board not to answer that question because that issue has not been appealed. That issue is not before the board. The only issue is it related to the basement dance club tavern.
Okay, very good.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.